All right, this is getting started with putting together like a teacher website for Waterville Elite here. This is applicable to South School, North School, Middle School, High School, etc. Um, First thing you want to do, just a couple notes, is make sure that you're using Mozilla Firefox. I have this pinned down here at the bottom of my taskbar. You can download this from Google. It's just most convenient to use this browser. If you use Chrome, it also works, or Internet Explorer. However, I've just kind of found that the images don't work quite right. So, and that's what I've been told through SchoolWire's training too, is to use the Mozilla Firefox. So that's what I'm on right now. You can see I'm at watervilleeliteps.org, and this is our district homepage. What you're going to want to do first, excuse me, is sign in. So we're going to sign in, and I'm going to sign in as a new teacher. Once you've signed in, you're going to notice that you have some different options here up at the top. First thing, if your password is 111, if you need me to change your password or unlock you, quote unquote, email me and I'll get to it right away, and I'll change your password to 111, just like Jimmy Pascal does. You're going to want to go to account settings, and this is where you would change your password. Current password 111, and create your new password. The other option that you have is Site Manager. And once you click on Site Manager, this is your website. And down here at the bottom is your total visits of how many people have visited your site over a period of time. This is really mainly what you're going to need to worry about the most. And you're going to see some type of home page, and you're going to have a calendar. You can create other pages by clicking New Page, and it gives you the option of just this blank page, and we'll go about telling you how to put apps into each page. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to click on this page. First of all, the calendar page. I do have another tutorial on the calendar. The events that are on here already are district-wide, so no matter what calendar, per teacher, per school, per department, whatever, these events always appear on each calendar, and there's a lock on it, and it's basically the district calendar. So if you want to add an event, you might want to go and view the other tutorial on just adding events to your calendar. So I'm not going to get into that. To go back to your home page, you're going to click this home button here, and it'll take you back to the list of your pages. You can have as many pages as you'd like, but we're going to just talk about the home page for right now. So if I click on home, this is where you edit, modify your layout of your home page and what applications that you want to add. Currently, this home page is a one-column layout home page. We can go and manage a different layout by clicking this button here, and you see change layout or add app. So if I want to change the layout to maybe a 2-column or possibly a 3-column or any of these other page layouts, you're more than welcome to do that. I have found that usually a 2-column or 1-column is probably best. The other ones get a little bit more complicated when you start adding apps, and then it changes the width of your actual page. And what I mean by that is, let me go to this person's website, and let me just tell you this section right here up at the top will always remain. You cannot change this. You cannot add a picture or an image. We want our website to be consistent, so it's easy to use for parents, students, teachers, etc. This left-hand side here of each page is also, you cannot change. So really you have a working space of this white area from here to here and over, and as far down as you want to go. You can continue to go down. So if you do a 3-column layout, you're very limited on what goes on each column. Or some of these other odd ones. But you're more than welcome to use these. Just, if you use the left and right sidebar and you have this little space at the top, that's not going to replace this. That becomes now this area. So you kind of got to just continue to play around with the layout and what apps you're adding. Come back to the website and just kind of refresh once you've made changes to see what it looks like. So for right now, I'm going to stick with 2-column. It's simple. I'm going to apply that, and you now have these two, dashed areas. This is the layout of your page. If I were to change it to this, you can see the different areas. I'm going to go back to 2-column. So I'm going to add an app to this page. Let me just discuss apps a little bit. And actually, let me go back to the home page. So if I wanted to add another page, we're going to use the blank page type. Maybe we'll title this About Me. I'm going to save this. It'll add it to the side, and the same thing. If I click on the page, now I can change the page layout to whatever kind of layout I want to use. Okay. So now this is also a 2-column. You always have to click I'm done, and then it takes you to here, and then you can click home. And I believe I forgot to save. No, I did save. Clicking I'm done will save it. So that's on how to add a page. You just have this layout, or this option for right now. And then you add apps to that. So let's go back to home. Let's go ahead and talk about apps for a little bit. When we click on Add App, there's some different apps that you can choose from. Actually, you have quite a few apps that you can choose from. And some of them are pretty self-explanatory, like the Lunchroom menu app. You don't need that app. That's on the normal website. Minibase, still not even quite sure what that is. A podcast, some of you might be familiar with that. But you just kind of got to read through and see what app you would like to use. The app that I suggest the most is if you want to just add text and a picture, an image, and a file. I've been using the Flex Editor app. And this is, you're going to want to name it. So let's name this email title. This will put the app, it sometimes if you have a weird layout, it'll put the app in different sections of your page layout. So you're going to want to, you can click on this and move it around. And you can stack them on top of one another as well once you start adding apps to the page. So if I'm done, I'm going to click Save, basically. And now I can edit this app. And this is where you're going to come in and put your information. Maybe she would like a picture. You can, obviously most of you know how to edit text. You can change the font style, the font size. You can change the color, bold it. You can center it on the page. You can use the bullets and the numbering here. Let's go back to left align. Some other features with the Flex Editor app that are very useful. It's almost set up like Microsoft Word. You have undo, redo, a spell check, things like that. You can print. Here's your cut, copy, and paste options. Some of the options down here on the third row, this is add a picture. So this is where you would click on insert image, find the image that you have saved to whatever folder or file that you have it in. And you would insert that image and be able to adjust the size of it. You can insert a file. So if I wanted to insert a PDF, for example, insert that file, or a Word document, a PowerPoint presentation, a Microsoft Excel file. I like to work with PDFs, but you can also use, like I said, Word documents, Excel, PowerPoint presentations even. You're going to always have to type something in here. Anytime you see a red triangle, that means you have to type something. So we're going to title this, and this is what will show up on your page. School supplies needed. Insert that file, and then it provides you with a link so that when you save it, someone will be able to download that file. Some of the other things, this is just a line to separate things on your page. I'm not really sure how to use bookmark. You might want to insert a hyperlink. So if I type in Google, and this can be to any website that you want, and I highlight this, select insert link. You can link it to a page in your website or a calendar. You could link it to an email address. You can also link it to a web address, which is what I like to do, and it'll put in here. You can usually copy and paste the web address, and now this will take me to Google. So you can also insert hyperlinks to other websites. This is a photo gallery, which I can add on my page and add pictures to. But there's an app for that, which I'll show you. And the rest of them, this is insert a table, which is useful if you want to organize your information in a table in the middle. Some people like to do it that way to create documents and things like that. So I'm going to save this for right now just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to come back out and again refresh her page here, this person's page. And you can see where the page starts. You have this, you're always going to have this left navigation bar, and this is always going to be at the top. So some of the things that I suggest is maybe hitting enter a few times before the name, just to provide a little bit more space there. For example, if I just hit enter a couple times, hit save, and then come back and hit refresh, kind of leaves you a little bit more space. Here's the file that I downloaded. Takes me to that file. And this should take me to google.com, which it does. So a few different things that you can do, but again, for this, remember that this is a 2-column page layout, and so that's why that line that I inserted only went to that half of the column. So maybe you would insert in this column another line at that point, or just again make a single layout page if that's easier for you. And again, you can continue to go further down and down. Here's that About Me page. There shouldn't be anything on there because we didn't add any apps to it. So again, I always like to save a lot just in case. Come back out to the home page. Let's add another app. Actually, I'm going to stop right there. Maybe play around with the layout a little bit, mess around with the apps, and then or at least the Flex Editor app, and I will come back with another tutorial and talk about the apps that are in here and some of the things that they do. But again, the easiest thing to learn how to use this program in SchoolWires is to just play around with the layout, mess around with the apps, watch the tutorial for the calendar and how to use that. Look at some of your options. You don't have very many. I wouldn't worry about forms and surveys right now. I wouldn't worry about your photo gallery. But basically what that is that any file that you create, this is like your H drive. You just continue to store things right here. Add folders, put files in those folders. Same thing, you can add surveys and forms, and same thing here. All the photos that you take, you can add those to this gallery, and it will just, almost like your H drive, will keep it in a folder for you so you can quickly add those to your website. I'm going to delete this page, and again, be back on the next session here to just kind of talk about apps and what apps you can add to all of your pages.